The devastating phone call from Dr. Martinez came on a rainy Tuesday morning in March. Sarah, a 35-year-old nurse practitioner, felt her world tilt as the neurologist explained that her 72-year-old father Robert had been diagnosed with dementia. The man who had taught her to ride a bike, walked her down the aisle, and been her rock through her mother's death 3 years earlier, was slowly slipping away from them. Sarah's hands trembled as she immediately called her older brother Marcus, a 37-year-old retail manager, to break the news. Both siblings knew what this meant. Their independent, prideful father could no longer live alone safely. The man who had raised 2 children as a single parent after their mother's passing would now need constant supervision and care. Over the following weeks, the family gathered for several emotional meetings around Robert's kitchen table, the same table where he'd helped them with homework decades ago. During his clearer moments, Robert participated in planning his own future care, his eyes sometimes filling with tears as he grappled with his fading independence. The financial reality was stark but undeniable. Sarah earned nearly double Marcus's salary as a nurse practitioner, had excellent health benefits, and job security that his retail position couldn't match. When they laid out all the options, expensive memory care facilities, in-home nursing that would drain Robert's savings, or family caregiving, the choice seemed obvious. To Sarah's surprise, Marcus actually seemed enthusiastic about the arrangement. He had been complaining for years about his demanding retail job, the unreasonable customers, and his unsympathetic district manager. "This could give me real purpose," he told Sarah one evening, his voice thick with emotion. "I could finally do something meaningful instead of just pushing inventory numbers." The plan they developed felt solid and fair. Marcus would move into Robert's house, become his primary caregiver, and receive a monthly stipend from Sarah that exceeded his current retail salary. Sarah would handle any medical expenses not covered by their father's insurance and be available for medical guidance given her healthcare background. For the past month, Marcus had been living with their father, learning Robert's routines, managing his medications, and navigating the increasingly challenging world of dementia care. Some days were good. Robert would remember both his children's names and tell stories from their childhood with startling clarity. Other days were heartbreaking. Robert would wander the house at 3 a.m. looking for his deceased wife, or become agitated when he couldn't remember how to use the television remote he'd operated for 20 years. Sarah thought everything was progressing well. Marcus seemed to be adapting to the routine, and Robert appeared comfortable with the arrangement. Then came yesterday's phone call that shattered their carefully constructed plan. "Sarah, I've been thinking," Marcus began, his voice carrying an edge she hadn't heard before. "This isn't working out the way I thought it would. I think you should be the one to quit your job instead." Sarah felt her stomach drop. "What do you mean? We already agreed on this arrangement based on, daughters are naturally better at caregiving." Marcus interrupted, his tone becoming defensive. "It's just biological. And I think I might be in line for a promotion soon that could really help with expenses." Sarah couldn't believe what she was hearing. This was the same brother who had voluntarily proposed this arrangement, who had seemed relieved to escape his retail job, who had spent weeks preparing for this new role. Now he was invoking gender stereotypes and vague promises of career advancement to justify abandoning their father. "Marcus, we made this decision together based on practical considerations," Sarah said, fighting to keep her voice steady. "My income is nearly double yours, I have job security, and honestly..." She paused, remembering the frustrated sighs and sharp tones she'd witnessed when Robert asked the same question for the 5th time in an hour. "Dad's already adjusted to having you there." Marcus's response was swift and cutting. "You're being selfish, Sarah. You don't care about Dad's emotional needs. You just want to hide behind your career while I do all the hard work." The accusation stung because it was so unfair. Sarah had spent countless hours researching dementia care, consulting with specialists, and ensuring her father received the best possible medical attention. She visited twice a week, handled all insurance communications, and was available by phone whenever Marcus needed guidance, but Marcus wasn't finished. Throughout the week, Her phone buzzed constantly with text messages that grew increasingly manipulative and cruel. He accused her of abandoning her family responsibilities, of caring more about money than their father's well-being. The final blow came when he invoked their deceased mother. "Mom would be so disappointed in you for not stepping up when Dad needs you most." Sarah stared at that last message through tears, remembering her mother's final days when she had taken leave from work to provide round-the-clock care. The same mother who had been so proud of Sarah's career achievements and had made her promise never to let anyone diminish her professional accomplishments. Now Sarah sat in her empty apartment, questioning everything. Was she being selfish? Should daughters automatically be expected to sacrifice their careers for family caregiving? Or was Marcus simply experiencing buyer's remorse and trying to manipulate his way out of a commitment he had enthusiastically made? The weight of the decision pressed down on her shoulders. Her father needed care, her brother was backing out of their agreement, and she was caught between her professional responsibilities and family obligations. The man who had always protected her now needed protection himself, but at what cost to her own life and financial security? What do you think Sarah should do? Is Marcus right that daughters should naturally be the caregivers, or is he manipulating the situation after changing his mind? Should Sarah sacrifice her higher-paying career to care for their father, or stick to the original agreement they all made together? Share your thoughts and feelings below. This impossible situation affects so many families dealing with aging parents.